I'm Danny, and today I'm going to be doing the Do I Have That tag or challenge. I've heard different people call it different things. Some people call it a tag, some people call it a challenge, and it is a tag and a challenge. So I don't know what you want to call it. I'll probably put it as the tag / challenge. I don't know. But this was created by Keeper of Keeping Tabs, and I will try to remember to link her video in the description below. Unlike some creators, she luckily did not take down her video before I got to it, because there have been times where I've clicked on other people's links where they link the creator down below, and then that video has been taken down or deleted or whatever have you. So today I will be doing this tag challenge, and where's my phone? So I have my phone, and I'm going to get the timer ready. Okay, so I got my stopwatch ready, and so the thing about this is that there are about 20 questions that you have, and you have to find each thing, such as a book with deckled edges, a book that has an author with a pen name, things like that. And the creator says you just have to try and get this under 8 minutes. And whatever time you get, the person who you tag has to get a time below that. So what I'm going to do with this is I've seen people who have grabbed a book, shown it real quick, and then put the book down to grab another book. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get my list. I'm going to start grabbing books, and then I will show you them all at the end. I will probably just kind of speed up the whole searching process, because I know you just don't want to sit here and watch me search for books for like 5 minutes or 8 minutes. Let's hope I get under 8 minutes though. So let's get started. And I'm starting the timer now. Poetry. No, I don't have any poetry books. An award stamp. Award. Do you have an award? No, you do not have an award. Do you? No, you don't have any awards. Award. Okay, award stamp author with the theme. Theme is yours. Book of short stories. Short stories. Short stories. Turn into a movie. First book of that was turned into a movie. Okay, turned into a movie. Okay, there's a time, stop. 6 minutes, 17 seconds. Yes! 6 minutes, 17 seconds is my time. So now let's go over the books. Okay, for a book with deckled edges, the only one that came to mind was A Wrath in the Dawn by Renee Ahdieh. It's the only book I can think of that had deckled edges. I'm sure I probably have a few others other than its sequel, but this was the only book that came to mind in that split second of what book has deckled edges. Okay, question 2 is a book with 3 or more characters on the cover. So this one is probably one of the 2 that took me the longest, because if you told me a book with 2 characters, I could have found one. A book with 1 character, sure, still could have found one. But a book with 3 or more authors on it, I would have probably had to run back into my back room to find something like that. But luckily, I thought of this, and is the Doctor Who's monster guy. There's the Doctor, Cyberman, the Marsman, the Weeping Angels, and the Daleks. So 3 or more characters on the front. Okay, a book based on another fictional story, and I'm going to go with The Receiver of Many. This is a retelling of Hades and Persephone. The story, I can't remember the original title's name, but like the translation was like the rape or the abduction of Persephone, and so this is a retelling of that story, and I love it. So number 4 is a book with 10 letters long, no more, no less, and every book I found kept either having 9 or 11 or more, and luckily I finally found it, and that is Air Fire by Sarah J. Maas. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 letters. Number 5 is a book that starts and ends with the same letter, and the creator did say that, say you got, for an example, so this is not the book I ended up finding, but I'm just going to use this book as an example. So say you got The Shadow Queen. You could take out the, or if the title began with an A, you could take out one of those 2 words and go with the next word, which would have been S for shadow. So the book I ended up getting was Seeds. Starts with an S, ends with an S. Number 6 is a Mass Market Paperback, and I just randomly grabbed one, and I got One Foot in the Grave. Now this one I probably have had to skip, but luckily one of the other versions of this tag I saw, they actually named who a pen author was, because I have absolutely no idea if someone uses a pen name unless it's like someone who I already know is an author, and then I see them writing another book, then I know it's a pen name. But I couldn't think of one person, but luckily someone else who did this video did tell me. So it is Cassandra Clare, and I think they said her name was like Judy or Judith or something like that. So I definitely cannot see her as a Judy or Judith. She is Cassandra to me. So, but pen name done. Okay, a character who has their name in the title, and I went with Alex and Ada. Number 9 is a book with 2 maps, and I went with Nevernight. Luckily, I have very few books with maps in it. The first thing that came to mind was, of course, Sarah J. Maas. She has maps in all of her books, except for the Catwoman book, I believe. But I know for a fact that all those books only have 1 map, even though it spans multiple pages. It is considered only 1 map. I remembered Nevernight has a map, and there's 1 map, 2 maps. Does it have 3 maps? Nope, just 2. Next was a book that was turned into a TV show, and I went with The Witches of East End. Number 11 is an author who is famous for something else, and unfortunately I can't think of one. If I do have an author who is famous for something else, I don't know about it. I have no autobiographies or biographies or any of those things, or people, like famous people who write inspirational books or their life story, whatever have you. I don't have any of those, so I cannot say I have an author who is famous for something else, so I had to skip this one. Number 12 was a book with a clock on the cover, and I have The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. If you look very closely, there's a clock right there. Okay, number 13 is a book of poetry, and while I have books with like poetry lines or a few snippets of poetry or even maybe a page dedicated to poetry, I do not have a poetry book, so I had to skip this one also. Next is a book with an award stamp on it, and that is The Girl of Fire and Thorns by Ray Carson. Number 15 is an author with the same initials as yours, and because I have 2 last names, that would either be DR or DB, so I managed to find a DR, and that is Debbie Raleigh, so DR. Next we have a book of short stories, and I went with Good Girl Seeks Bad Writer. There are 3 short erotic stories in this. Number 17 is a book with 500 to 510 pages, no more, no less. And this one definitely took me the longest because, of course, since I know it's 500 pages, I automatically reached for the books that looked the thickest without being too thick. And while I was always just like short, like 490 or 497, something just barely making. But luckily I managed to find Burning Glass, and this one is 503 pages. Number 18 is a book that has been turned into a movie, and I'm gonna go with the entire Twilight Saga. Number 19, a graphic novel, and the first one I reached for was Sex Criminals. And last but not least is a book written by 2 or more authors, and I got Illuminate by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. Well, that is officially it. That is my Do I Have That tag challenge, and I will link the people who I tag in the description below. And even if I did not list you below, I still tag you, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!